Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, my beautiful hot messes. My name is Mistress Lavender, and today I'll be finishing chapter one of the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F by Mark Manson. I left off on page 16 on the first episode, so if you missed it, go to that episode, then watch this one. But let's continue where we left off. I'm starting at the top. But instead, I was indignant. I was pissed off. I said, no, screw that, Mom. We're going to lawyer the F up and go after this a hole. Why? Because I don't give a or give a F. I will ruin this guy's life if I have to. This illustrates the first subtlety of not giving an F. When we say damn, watch out, that Mark Manson doesn't care about anything, on the contrary, we mean that Mark Manson doesn't care about the adversity in the face of his goals. He doesn't care about pissing some people off to do what he feels is right or is noble. We mean that Mark Manson is a type of guy who would write about himself in third person just because he thought it was the right thing to do. He just doesn't give an F. That is what is so admirable. No, not me, dumb A. The overcoming adversity stuff, the willingness to be different, an outcast, a pariah, all for the sake of one's own values, the willingness to stare failure in the face and shove your middle finger right back at it. The people that don't give an F about adversity or failure or embarrassing themselves or essing the bed a few times. The people who just laugh and then the people who just laugh and then do what they believe in anyways because they know it's right. They know it's more important than they are, more important than their own feelings and their own pride and their own ego. They say F it, not to everything in life, but rather to everything unimportant in life. They reserve their F's for what truly matters: friends, families, purpose, burritos, and an occasional lawsuit or two. And because of that, because they reserve their F's for only the big things that matter, people give an F about them in return. But here's another sneaky little truth about life. You can't be an important and life changing presence for some without also being a joke and embarrassment to others. You just can't. The old saying goes that no matter where you go, there you are. Well, the same is true for adversity and failure. No matter where you go, there's a 500-pound load of S waiting for you, and that's perfectly fine. The point isn't to give away from the S, the point is to find the S you enjoy dealing with. Subtlety number two: to not give a F about adversity, you must first give a F about something more important than adversity. Imagine you're in a grocery store and you watch an elderly lady scream at the cashier, berating him for not accepting her 30-cent coupon. Why does this lady give a F? It's only 30 cents. I'll tell you why. The lady probably doesn't have anything better to do with her days than to sit at home cutting out coupons. She's old and lonely. Her kids are D heads and never visit. She hasn't had S in over 30 years. She can't fart without extreme lower back pain. Her pension is on its last legs. And she's probably going to D word in a diaper thinking she's in Candyland. So she snips coupons. That's all she got. It's her and her damn coupons. It's all she can give a F about because there is nothing else to give a F about. And so when that pimply faced 17-year-old cashier refuses to accept one of them, when he demands, when he defends his cash register's purity the way knights used to defend maidens' virginity, you can bet Granny is going to erupt. 80 years of F's will rain down all at once, like a fiery hailstorm of back in my day, and people used to show more respect stories. The problem with people who hand out F's like ice cream at a gosh dang summer camp is that they don't have anything more F worthy to dedicate their F's to. If you find yourself constantly giving too many F's about trivially S that bothers you, your ex-boyfriend's new Facebook picture, how quickly the batteries die in the TV remote, missing out on yet another 2-for-1 sale on hand sanitizer, chances are you don't have much going on in your life to give a legitimate F about. And that's your real problem, not the hand sanitizer and not the TV remote. I once heard an artist say that when a person has no problems, the mind automatically finds a way to invent some. I think what most people, especially educated, pampered, middle class white people, consider life problems are really just side effects of not having anything more important to worry about. It then follows that finding something important and meaningful in your life is perhaps the most productive use of your time and energy. But if you don't find that meaningful something, your S will be given to meaningless and frivolous causes. Subtlety number three: whether you realize it or not, you are always choosing what to give an F about. People aren't just born not giving an F. In fact, we're born giving way too many Fs. Ever watch a kid cry his eyes out because his hat is in the wrong shade of blue? Exactly. F that kid. We're young. Everything is new and exciting, and everything seems so much better. Therefore, we give tons of Fs. We give an F about everyone and everything, about what people are saying to us, about whether that cute boy or girl called us back or not, about whether our socks match or not, or what color our birthday balloon is. As we get older, with the benefit of experience and having seen so much time slip by, we begin to notice that most of these sort of things that have lasting impact on our lives. Those people whose opinion we cared about so much before are no longer present in our lives. Rejections that were painful in the moment have actually worked out for the best. We realize how little people pay attention to the superficial details about us, and we choose not to obsess so much over them. Essentially, we become more selective about the F's we're willing to give. This is something called maturity. It's nice. You should try it sometime. Maturity is what happens when one learns to only give a F about what truly is effing worthy. As Buck Moreland said to his partner detective McNulty in The Wire, which F you, I still downloaded it. That's what you get for giving an F when it wasn't your turn to give an F. Hmm. Then, as we get, huh? Yeah. Then, as we get older and enter middle age, something else begins to change. Our energy level drops, our identity solidifies. We know who we are and we accept ourselves, including some of the parts we aren't thrilled about. And in a strange way, this is liberating. We no longer need to give an F about everything. Life is just what it is. We accept it, warts and all. We realize that we're never going to cure cancer or go to the moon or fill Jennifer Aniston's tits. And that's okay. Life goes on. We now reserve our ever dwindling F's for the most truly F worthy parts of ourselves: our families, our best friend, our golf swinging, and in our astonishment, this is enough. This simplification actually makes us really effing happy on a consistent basis. And we start to think maybe that crazy alcoholic Bukowski was onto something. Don't try. So, Mark, what the F is the point of this book anyway? This book will help you think a little bit more clearly about what you're choosing to find important in life and what you're choosing to find unimportant. I believe that today we're facing a psychological epidemic on in which people no longer realize it's okay for things to suck sometimes. I know that sounds intellectually lazy on the surface, but I promise you, it's a life slash death sort of situation. Because we believe that it's not okay for things to suck sometimes, then we unconsciously start blaming ourselves. We start to feel as though something is inherently wrong with us, which drives us to all sorts of overcompensation, like buying 40 pairs of shoes or downing Xanax with a vodka chaser on a Tuesday night or shooting up a school bus full of kids. This belief that it's not okay to be inadequate sometimes is a source of the growing feedback loop from HE double hockey stick that is coming to dominate our culture. The idea of not giving an F is a simple way of reorienting our expectations for life and choosing what is important and what is not. Developing this ability leads to something I like to think of as practical enlightenment. No, not that airy fairy, eternal bliss, end of all suffering, bull essy kind of enlightenment. On the contrary, I see practical enlightenment as becoming comfortable with the idea that some suffering is always inevitable, that no matter what you do, life is comprised of failures, loss, regrets, and even death. Because once you become comfortable with all the S that life throws at you, and it will throw a lot of S, trust me, you become invincible in a sort of low level spiritual way. After all, the only way to overcome joy is to first learn how to bear it. This book doesn't give a F about um, elevating your probable alleviating your problems or your pain. And that is precisely why you will know it's being honest. This book is not some guide to greatness. It couldn't be, because greatness is merely an illusion in your minds, a made up destination that we obligate ourselves to pursue, our own psychological Atlantis. Instead, this book will turn your pain into a tool, your trauma into power, and your problems into slightly better problems. This is progress. Think of it as a guide to suffering and how to do it better, more meaningful, with more compassion and more humility. It's a book about moving lightly, depend, despite your heavy burdens, resting easier with your greatest fears, laughing at your tears as you cry them. This book will not teach you how to gain or achieve, but rather how to lose and let go. It will teach you to take inventory of your life and scrub out all but the most important items. It will teach you to close your eyes and trust that you can fall backwards and still be okay. It will teach you to give fewer F's. It will teach you to not try. That's the end of chapter 1. The next clip will be chapter 2. I'll see you there. And since you're still here, you might as well like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know, what book should I read next? And are you enjoying the series so far? Bye. I'll see you next video.